Hey, you're back with the old and the new Get Out Deck guy. There, I put them together that time for you, Damon.
Sweet.
Yeah, one's the Get Out Deck guy, one's the other guy, and I'm the other guy. So
I'm the guy.
You're the guy.
We have established that last week.
Yes. I'm Steve Rhode.
Technically, it was this
the
week.
other guy, the original Get Out Deck guy. And with me, as always, is Damon Day. You can find Damon at DAMONDAY.com for all your debt chitty chat needs.
Chitty chat.
Chitty chat. So this is the ultimate show without a plan, because we just not only are we late for Thursday, but it's late in the day on Friday, and my brain's about ready to check out. But I wanted to tell you this week, Damon, I started a new series of posts on the site. Now, like, I don't have enough boring stuff to read. Now I'm going through SEC filings, because it's always where the golden nuggets are buried, where the financial services companies have to disclose to investors what their liabilities and risks are. Like, for example, I love it when Navient tells everybody that their private student loans are not dischargeable in bankruptcy.
And SoFi says, wait.
But then they go on to tell the investors, the loans, they're dischargeable in bankruptcy. So that's where the golden nuggets are buried. But so I was reading an SEC filing by Synchrony. Yes. Synchrony Bank.
But real quick, before you get into that, good luck. The hardest part is going to be even if they are potentially dischargeable, you got to find a freaking attorney that's willing to take it on. And there's some out there, but they're few and far between.
Yeah, and the sad part about it is that, what is the latest number? It's like 89 or 93% of those student loans where people actually push them through an adversary proceeding to be discharged are discharged. The hardest part is finding an attorney who understands all of that and is willing to take it on. But so Synchrony Bank, in their SEC filing, we always say that lenders account for some percentage of their loans as people aren't going to be able to pay it back. And well, Synchrony Bank, in their SEC filing, said, we already count the 10% of the credit that we extend is not going to be paid back because people aren't going to be able to do it.
Yeah, but if they're making 30% on the other 90%, they're still coming out way ahead.
Yeah, but so if they've already, it comes back. I read it, and in my mind, I heard that old argument that we always talk about, the moral obligation. So if they've already said that 10 cents out of every dollar, that's not going to be repaid.
It's already baked into the cake.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And not only that, it's even better for them, because how often does somebody get a loan or a credit card and they just never pay it, right? They're usually paying for a while. So it's when they say, we have 10% default. Well, but there might be people that been paying for a couple of years and then defaulted. So they didn't default on the whole thing.
No, and their profit was still in the billions.
Last I seen, I travel all over the country for baseball and softball, Steve, as you know.
Yeah.
And this year we did more flying than normal, but normally we take the trailer. So I drive through all these cities all over the country. The banks are always the biggest buildings.
Yeah, that's right.
You want to know where a bank is? Look for the tall buildings. That's where the banks are.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah, they're not hurting.
And,
if you end up having a default on a credit card, Chase is going to be just fine without your money.
That's right.
Pretty sure.
They said, their interest and fees on loans increased $52 million in the last quarter to $5.4 billion. So the other thing that was interesting was they said that, basically, I'm going to paraphrase it, but damn, we're all excited. The CFPB eliminated that $8 late fee rule.
Dude, it's the dog and pony show. It's the whole thing. I know I'm getting old. Pretty soon I'm going to be the old get out of debt guy, because I'm getting so old that I'm cynical in everything.
I know.
But I'm right.
I know.
It's like kind of the old, is it a conspiracy theory if it's true?
I know. It's hard to get all wound up when people go, my lender or the debt relief company just screwed me over. Yeah, I know. That's the way it goes.
We've been covering this stuff for so many dang years, couple of decades now, right? And we always, like, every time you have so-and-so got shut down by the FTC or the CFPB, and there's, debt relief scam or this or that and the other thing, or this bank is always a scam, always got away with millions of dollars, millions and millions and millions of dollars. And then, they went after them and they caught them and they, had to pay a fine, but then it was dramatically reduced based on
the
defendant's inability to pay.
They hit all the money.
And so, and then they don't go to jail. And so they just like, oh, sorry, my bad. And then who knows what they do, take the money and go or start something else up under a different corporation, different name, whatever. They do it all the time. And after a while, you start going, who says crime doesn't pay? Because clearly it does. All these guys can just make millions of dollars, get sued. Oh, that sucks. Oh, woe is me. I'm super poor. I blew it all on a 3-day cocaine bender or whatever the hell, right? And then they have to pay a couple $100,000 or whatever it is. That's all they can afford. And then they go do something else. And it's like, so what's the disincentive for these guys to just rip people off and just take all this money? There's never any like actual consequence other than maybe they're a little bit embarrassed in their social circle now because they're going through a court case.
Of course, they're not even embarrassed about that, because the other people that are doing it with them, they're like high-fiving each other.
Dude, and I actually just got off the phone with the listener. She's probably listening to this podcast, so I'm not going to give out, any details or any names or anything like that, but I just got off the phone with her, and it's one of these debt relief programs, and we don't say the name, and we don't need to say the name because it doesn't matter the name. They all do the same bullshit.
Right.
And, they convinced her, because, she's, burning through a retirement right now, trying to resolve the debt, trying to do the right thing, like so many of us are, what, quote unquote, the right thing is.
Whatever that is.
This debt relief group got a hold of her, and she's retired right now. She's protected retirement income, and they got her, signed up for this program to settle her debt and pay $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get into specifics, but they're $1,000 a month for 5 freaking years, and a situation where she doesn't need to be doing that. And it's just, it's all the time. It's just, this is why I get so cynical with this stuff, because it's like, I usually try to toe the line and be like, well, yeah, call a debt settlement company, talk to them and see. No, fuck that. Stop calling them. They suck. They all suck. I'm at that point now where I'm just like, no, I know. They suck.
You don't want to be the guy yelling at the TV, but I understand.
Get off my lawn. But after 20 years of them doing the same stuff to people over and over and over, and it all comes down to it. And I'm not saying the individual that you're talking to is a bad person, because maybe they are, but probably they're not. They're probably just doing their job.
Either inexperienced or ill-informed, because Damon,
they're ignorant about it.
Yeah, we've talked to so many debt settlement or debt relief sales people over the years that have come in hot and heavy and pissed off, like, you don't know what you're talking about. No, actually, you weren't told the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just, it's at that point. And the problem is, this is the perfect example in this situation. The salesperson is there to make a commission. In this case, it was probably, I don't know, the fees for this client were going to be about $20 some odd $1,000, ridiculous amount of money, all coming from her retirement account, by the way, that she didn't have and that she didn't need to pay and would have been protected. And so I don't know what that salesperson's commission is going to be. I don't know the ins and outs. Maybe at $4,000, $5,000. I don't know, $6,000.
Yeah, but like last week we talked about.
That's a huge incentive.
Last week we talked about a salesperson that was scrambling to meet their quota so they didn't get fired. They didn't care what they were doing.
Yeah. Yeah, but so even if they did, it's like, do you think that person is going to, go through that salesperson is going to be like, you know what? Based on your situation, you're already retired. This money that you do have is going to have to last the rest of your life. There's some other options that you should look at before you commit yourself to what's essentially $60,000 over the next 5 years, you should look at some other options. They're never going to say it. In fact, they're going to do worse than not mention it. They're going to actively argue against a strategy like a
take
bankruptcy.
Your retirement.
Yeah, because they don't make any money when you file bankruptcy.
Well,
but that guy might make $5,000 if he can play your fears up on bankruptcy and convince you that, yeah, it's horrible, it's the devil. Yeah, I got to do this. It sounds good. And it's like they ruin people's lives every day.
Did you mention what kind of company that was?
What kind of company?
Yeah, what kind of debt relief company?
I said it was a debt settlement company.
So
I didn't say the name of it.
I didn't want to out you if you hadn't said that. But so on the AI Steve chat on the website, there were 2 people this week that came in and said they were being pitched a debt management program from a nonprofit credit counselor, and they were being sold hard on this thing. But the only problem was, while their interest rate was going to be cut, their payment was going to be just about the same.
Yeah. And I mean, but debt management companies do the same thing. Oh, we're credit counselors. And that always made me laugh. There's no counseling. Yeah. But they do the same thing. They sell a different widget. The credit counseling program is different than the debt settlement program. And I'm doing air quotes because debt settlement doesn't have a program. That's just a work of fiction. At least credit counseling has a program.
Kind of.
And there's some agreements in place. Yeah. But at the end of the day, they're still there. Their job is not to counsel you on what to do. Their job is to convince you that all other options suck, and their option is the optimal.
You need to buy our widget,
better than everything else. Yeah. So anyway, when Steve came on and said the ultimate show without a plan, what he meant by that was I called him up and right before we were doing this show because I've been on calls all day. Because one of us has to actually help people. Steve just
I just chat
reads SEC filings and kicks back. Has AI do all the heavy lifting for him. But yeah, he earned it. He put in his dues back in the day. But so I call him up and I was like, I had this idea of what I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember. And he goes, "Who cares? Let's just do the call. We'll figure it out." And I'm racking my brain. I'm like, I had a really good idea, but that whole debt relief thing, I know we hammer it all the time, but
this is why I was a good search and rescue pilot, because it didn't matter what kind of emergency I had in the air. We're going to figure it out.
Well, but I just get hammered with this. I mean, most people, by the time they find our podcast, it's because they are about to enroll in a debt relief program or have signed up in a debt relief program and then start looking into it a little bit more and then go, "What the fuck?"
Right.
Like that. And then they're like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. And then they start Googling things and then our podcasts or your website might come up or something. And then they listen to a couple episodes and they go, "Oh shit.
Oh man.
I definitely probably shouldn't be doing this."
I should talk to these
And then
guys.
that's how they find me. Yeah. So that's you're kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? You're like a product of what you're involved in every day. So it's like, I'm seeing this stuff every day and why I get so worked up about it, because it's every day. I'm talking to people and it's like, oh, this person's getting screwed by this company or that. And it's just, it sets me off, but I'm at that point where it's like, don't even call them anymore. I mean, I'm not saying that they're all horrible, but they're all not good.
Okay.
They're not all scams, but they're all not good. Yeah. And they're not good for the simple fact that they're not there to be good.
Well,
they're there to convince you to hire them.
They don't have a fiduciary duty. They don't have any legal duty to do what's best for you. Their only duty is to duty on you.
Their duty. Their only duty is
duty.
Their duty. Duty
on you.
But go. Ooh,
yeah,
what? We don't have a red light. Don't talk. He's talking.
I forgot.
It's the theme of today's show. Well, I remembered something. Oh, did you remember something? We suck, Steve. It's like we've never done this before. You think after like how many years we've been doing this actual podcast? Can you hear me now? So it's been over 10 years, hasn't it? We've been doing this podcast
I think
more
longer
than 10
than
years for sure, right? Yeah. So after 10 years, we still can't figure it out.
Now, here's the problem. I know what I was going to say was I've been doing this so long and chasing and investigating companies and digging into whatever the truth is. I have seen so much stuff on the other side, like the debt relief company where the president of the company was having his drugs delivered at work and doing cocaine, and they threw a party at work and hired a stripper midget to come in. You think I'm making up this stuff? Or the company president that was packing money in a suitcase and then taking it overseas to hide it. I mean,
that's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
That's how they get away with this crap. Like, oh, I'm destitute. I don't have any money. Don't dig up the begonias.
I mean, they'll take their luxury sports car and their watch and stuff, but there's no record of where the crypto is.
Yeah. No, this wasn't the other thing I remember, but this was the one thing I wanted to bring up today because we've talked about it before, but not lately. And Steve doesn't even know this. But Steve,
Yes.
Last night I actually went out and did some gig work for the first time in several months. I don't know how long.
Did you remember how to do
it? Dude, yes and no. I have all the raw footage. There may or may not be a video on my YouTube channel, but given my track record, don't hold your breath. I try to get those videos out. That was the reason why I went and did it, because man, I haven't put a video out on my YouTube channel at Penny Stupid. Just go to YouTube and you can Google, put in Penny Stupid, and our YouTube channel will come up that Steve and I do, where we talk about side hustles and things like that.
Or you can see the video where Damon talks about the narcoleptic sex phone worker.
That was an Uber ride I did a couple years ago. Spoiler alert, she did not fall asleep in the back of my car.
But she did fall asleep on the phone.
Yeah. Not when I was calling her.
Right.
No. But no, the other night I got done with my calls. It was like 5 o'clock and I was like, I haven't gone out and, I've been traveling and all this kind of stuff. I was like, I haven't done a video on my channel for like 5 months. So I'll go do it and film it. And, I went out and it felt a little, I've been out of practice. I accepted like an Instacart shop and it took longer than it used to take because I'm out of practice. But it's still, it wasn't a great night. It was a slow night, but I was gone. I went out 4 hours and I made $122. And for me, that's not a great night if I was going to go drive. I usually make about $40 an hour, but it was like, I don't know, $27, $28. I didn't add it up specifically, but it just reminded me back to like, this was so easy to do. I did some Instacart, did some Spark. I did one DoorDash, one Uber Eats. I didn't, no people delivery, just food delivery and groceries. I don't really do people delivery that much anymore because you have to wash the car. That sucks. But honestly, you can make more per hour usually with food delivery. But I went out there and it's just like, I went out for 4 hours after the normal day. I had a slow day and I still made $120. And I know I talk about this gig work stuff and people are like, oh, I'm not going to do DoorDash. I'm not going to do this. But find a way to make extra money. And I know that's like, oh yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
Right.
But what I love about those gig apps is they're so easy to do. And unlike starting a little side hustle business, so if you're already in debt and you don't have the capital, a lot of businesses either take capital or they take time.
Yeah.
Or they take both.
You do one of these delivery apps, you're in business today.
Yeah, I went out there, I come home, I have $122. I could literally take that one, like right there in that moment when I pull in the garage, I can go to each of those apps and I can cash them out. And that money is in my account instantly. Like literally, if you have a bill due tomorrow, you can go out and drive, you make your $100, $150, whatever. Money is in your account that night. Like it's instant money. And it might not seem like a lot, but it was so easy to do. And if you go out there a couple hours after work, maybe some on the weekends, and you just make a goal, I'm going to drive until I make $50. I'm going to drive until I make $100. You go out there $100, a couple hours a night, Monday through Friday, or make some up on the weekends, about 20 hours a week, whatever. That's still $2,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're listening to this, you probably have debt. If I said, hey, how would you like an extra $2,000? You could do a lot with $2,000 a month. You could pay off a lot of debt. You could raise that money to settle the debt. You could use that money to do your Dave Ramsey snowball, whatever you wanted to do. But so many people, I don't want to do that. I don't want to drive. I don't want to do that. I thought the same thing for years. And then I finally was like, damn it, I'm a financial consultant. I got to advise people. Is there anything to this stuff?
Right.
Maybe you can make money. And you can make some freaking money. And it's just part-time stuff. So anyway, go to the YouTube channel, Penny Stupid. Check it out. I do some ride-along videos. We talk about different things. different ways to make money, but you could very easily make an extra $1,000, $2,000 a month instantly just by signing up on these stupid apps that you think are beneath you. But I mean, I actually like going out and doing it because it gets me out of the house. And dude, it was like 114 degrees yesterday when I was doing it.
Yeah, but it's dry heat.
Yeah, but that's why I go back to, I love having the Tesla because I just leave the AC on in the Tesla when I'm in the store shopping and stuff like that. So I'm only in the 114 from when I'm walking from my car to the store or my car to the front porch or whatever, dropping the groceries off. So most of the time I'm just sitting in a 63-degree car, not a big deal.
Well, but here's the difference is that when you started that was right around the same time where my assignment in this testing the side hustle thing was start selling on Amazon. And I don't know how many years it's been now, but I'm still doing it.
You started in 2023.
Okay, so 3 years.
3 years.
I'm still doing it. The Amazon business is going great. But the difference is you were made for the whole side hustle thing. I was probably built for the Amazon thing. But in either regard, there is lots of opportunity out there for you. But the initial slog sucks. Like just figuring out what to do on the delivery apps or which one to sign up or when do I do it or what kind of job should I do? All that stuff. You just got to just persevere and power your way through it. There was a contractor that told me a story about this high school kid that was desperate to make some extra money. It's hard for high school kids to get summer jobs these days because all the old farts are taking them.
Well, dude, I had a paper route in 3rd grade. Now kids can't get paper routes anymore. It only goes to adults with cars.
I had a bike repair shop when I was 14. But so this kid shows up, he's getting paid $20 or $25 under the table to work for this contractor. And the contractor hands him a shovel. And the kid says, "I don't do shovels," hands it back and walks off. I mean, well, I don't care what you're doing at what age. When you start something new, you're just going to have to slog through it and figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know a lot of people shy away from they think Uber and, oh, I want strangers. I don't want this. I don't want that.
Then don't do that.
If you give it a chance, though, if you give this gig work a chance, what's awesome about it, especially if you're just trying to get some extra, you can't make a full-time living. I mean, you can try. I mean, I've had months where I've made $5,000 or $6,000 part-time, but I'm better than the average bear. So don't expect to do that. But if you're in debt, you just need some extra money. What's great about it is you can work it completely around whatever your obligations are in life, work, family, whatever. You can just turn these apps on and turn them off whenever. Once you get them set up and you kind of learn how they work, which is what Steve was talking about, you got to kind of slog through at the beginning, figure it out, kiss the frogs, basically, learn that taking $5 orders are probably not a good idea because you don't really make much money, but you got to learn that. You got to take them and then you got to go, I didn't like that very much. I spent, 30 minutes and I made $5. I don't think I'm going to do that again. And then that's how you learn, and you learn how to find the good orders. But you can work these things throughout your day, where I have plenty of times I'll call Steve, I'll be talking to him, like, I had to shoot down to Walmart to grab something, for the house or whatever, flipped on my app and got a $30 delivery at the Walmart while I was going there anyway. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, I'm in here anyway. Okay, I'll grab these groceries, boom, drop them off and then go home. I was going to Walmart anyway.
I remember one time
took an extra.
You called me and said, I'm at Walmart, turned my app on, and somebody needs a TV delivered like a mile away.
Yeah. And I got like $50 for grabbing a TV, throwing it in my car, driving it a mile away, which was right by my house, giving it to him and drove home. Now, is that going to happen every day? No, but that's what I'm saying. This is not a full-time job, but you can work this kind of stuff. And trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. You don't have to be like, that's beneath me or whatever. In most places, every city's different, but in most places, a little bit of effort and not a lot of time, and you can make an extra $2,000 a month to help you get ahead or help you get through a rough patch, or overtime is not, coming through as much as it did or whatever. Go to my channel. I kind of explain how to do all this stuff, how to get signed up in these apps. And it's just, I don't know. We haven't talked about it in a while because I haven't had time to do it, but just going out last night and then coming home and like, you know what? I just made $120 and it was a slow night. Normally I usually make about 40 an hour, like I said. So that was definitely less than I normally make, but I didn't stack a single order. I wasn't trying to hustle. You know, when I'm shooting the footage for the videos, it's like, it slows me down anyway. But so I was just kind of cruising, you know, one thing at a time, and I was never sitting, and it was easy. And it was like, I just made $120. If you got a credit card bill due, boom, you go out and you drive.
I mean, that's like
right? If
$3
you've got
grand a month.
Yeah, if you've got if you're a couple, you're married, maybe one of you works, the other one doesn't. Perfect for the stay-at-home spouse, where it's like, one spouse is at work all day, the kids go to school. Stay-at-home spouse might have 4 or 5 hours, no kids in the house, and could go out and do some grocery delivery. And again, make it simple. Okay, I'm just going to drive till I make $100 and I'm going to come home.
Yeah, Pam.
You do that 5 days a week and that's $2 grand.
Pam and I got an Uber ride once from a hotel by a woman. She picked us up in her Jeep Cherokee and the back was all filled with grocery bags. And she goes, yeah, I was at the grocery store. This popped up. It's on my way home. So I'm picking you up. Picked us up, dropped us off.
And I know everybody's knee-jerk reaction. I don't want strangers in my car. I don't want to pick up people. I'm a female. It's too dangerous. And I totally get that. But you don't have to drive people. Right. I drive people I started off only driving people because I enjoyed it. I like talking to them. I like meeting them. I thought it was a fun experiment.
It's not just because of that. It was also because in the beginning you said, there is no fucking way I'm doing any shopping.
Well, yeah, but that's the same thing as saying I enjoyed people. I enjoyed people more than shopping, but it flipped. It flip-flopped. I got the reverse Uno card, and finally you convinced me it's like, you're doing this YouTube experiment. You have to try the other stuff.
And you hated the first couple times
like,
you tried it.
I totally hated it. The first time I went into an Instacart order, it was
5 hours.
It paid me like $30. No, it took 3 hours. When I made $30, and I even had my wife there with me helping me because I was like, babe, you're better at stores than I am. Can you come help me? She left before we were even done. She drove separately and she had to go pick up the kids. I mean, it was such a disaster. But if I would have went, F this sucks, that would have been easy. Kathy's never done it with me again. She's like, that is the stupidest thing. She's never done it again because she's like, this is ridiculous. Go get a job at McDonald's. But I learned, right? Okay, why did I only make $30 and why did it take me so long? And then I figured it out. Okay, well now I just went last night and I did a $37 Instacart that only took me an hour. And that was actually longer than it should have taken me because I was out of practice, but it only took me an hour. And normally if I was doing this more often, that probably would have taken me like 45 minutes. But I learned what are good orders and what are not.
And you also learn things like Walmart Spark, because the Walmart app is perfect. It tells you what row and shelf number and everything else. You don't have to go look.
Yeah, I also did a Walmart shop last night. It paid $27 and it was like 22 items and it took me 30 minutes. And the delivery was only 3 miles from my actual house. And it was the end of the night. The last thing I was going to do, put me up over $100, which was what I wanted to do. For the video that I was doing. The whole point of the video was, can I go make $100? And so I took it and, got the stuff, dropped it off and went home. It was $28, and it's like, it's so much easier than picking somebody up for Uber or something like that. So it went from, I don't ever want to do the shopping to I figured it out. And then I figured out I can make more money per hour if I was going to shop in stores and less wear and tear, less expense on my car. So you can make more money per hour and more money per mile because that delivery might only be going 4 miles from the store, but I'm not getting paid necessarily for the 4 miles like you would with Uber delivering a person. You're getting paid for the fact that you're getting 30 items at the grocery store. It's not costing me any money. My car's sitting in the parking lot. It's not burning up miles, my car doesn't burn through gas, but you get, you know what I mean? Burning through the expense. So I figured out I can make twice as much per mile doing food and grocery delivery than I could people delivery. So then I got to the point where I'm like, well, if I'm trying to maximize my earnings, if I go out, why would I pick up people?
Right.
So, so if you don't like driving people, you don't have to. Burritos don't talk back and they let you listen to whatever you want. In fact, you can listen to our podcast every week delivering burritos. They don't care.
And they don't leave cheek juice on the back seat.
Cheek juice. I have had some cheek juice.
Well, one of the first times I remember you went out, you had to set off a stink bomb or something in the.
Oh, we did a video that got like over 20,000 views. Where it's just I had to stop and go to Walmart and get one of those not Raid, but those cans that just like bombs the car and just like and you just like turn it on and it's like like shooting out and you shut all the doors and you leave it for like 20 minutes. Yeah, it was bad. But
doesn't happen
but anyway,
with food.
No, it doesn't. But like I said, if you're curious about it, you can make some money. You can get yourself out of debt. I'm not saying you have to go be a delivery driver, but it's one of the fastest ways to instant money. You don't have to. I think you got to invest like $20 or $25 to pay for the background check. But after you're approved, you got your phone, you got your car, you have an hour. You go make $20. Go make $30. Right? And it doesn't seem like a lot, but it all adds up.
Well, and and as I said, the first couple assignments, handful of assignments are going to really suck. But one of my life mottos is there's no sense wasting a perfectly good mistake. So you might as well learn from it.
And go watch the videos on Penny Stupid, because trust me, my first experience was less than stellar. Steve, do you remember what my very first Lyft ride was?
It was when you showed up with the cops.
The cops were there. Yeah. And I stopped 5 houses down, saw the flashing lights. I'm counting houses like that's where I'm supposed to pick this person up. I sat there contemplating life choices in that moment. And I had to make a decision. Do I carry through with this experiment, because that's what it was for the YouTube channel, or do I say, F it, I'm out, this is dumb? And for all of you that could maybe enjoy the videos in the future, I persevere.
Yeah.
Why can't I say that word? Persevered.
Yeah.
Persevered.
You got it?
Persevered for you. I swallowed whatever I had to swallow and drove up to the cop and was like, I'm here for my ride. I'm the Lyft guy.
Do I need to be worried?
Yeah. And whoa, what an interesting ride it was. But that was my very first experience. I persevered. And that first month I ended up making over $6,000 driving Lyft. And I went, this is a viable way to make money on the side if you need to make some extra money. Not a full time. Don't try to do it full time. It's not going to work out.
You're going to ruin it.
But you got some spare time. You can maximize your per hour returns, and you can make a couple $1,000s a month fairly easily in most areas of the country. If you live out in the boondocks, it's going to be a lot more difficult, but it is.
Now, the worst part is, don't take that extra couple $1,000s a month and then just like throw it at your bills. Two separate things. You need a plan on how you're going to deal with your debt. And that's why you contact Damon. And then the second thing is the $2,000 is your life raft. It's not, more money you pour in a boat with a hole in it.
Yeah. You still need to have a plan to get rid of the debt. The extra money just allows us to accelerate that plan and make it work faster. Right? And make it more likely that it's going to succeed. I cannot speak today. Maybe because we're doing this in the afternoon after I've done all my calls and I'm exhausted like you, versus we normally do this in the morning when my lips are working, apparently. Right? But no, you have to have, no matter what you do, you have to have a plan. And what we've learned over the years is the longer a plan takes to get executed,
it's not going to work.
The less likely it is to work. Right? The longer you have to be disciplined, the less likely it is to work. So doing this 5-year Dave Ramsey program, not saying it can't work, but having to keep your entire family disciplined for 5 years, it's not that easy.
No, and hope that nothing breaks.
Yeah, because everything always breaks.
So I have a little rant. You actually brought it up earlier this week, which is about the extended warranties. Everybody's always asking you.
I'm calling about your used car warranty.
No, whenever you buy something online or even at the store these days, they always ask you.
Yeah, I bought that shitter elbow.
Yeah. Do you want to get the warranty, the extra warranty on this item? And it's like you're checking out on Amazon. You're buying a USB cable. Do you want the warranty? No. Now, let me be frank here.
Always no.
Always no. The only way that warranties make any sense is the company that is warranting with that thing or insuring it, whatever you want to call it, knows that whatever they're charging you for that is going to be more than the actual cost that's going to be repaired. If you, instead of saying yes to any one of those things, like you buy a TV on Amazon or something, and they ask you, do you want the extended warranty, the extra protection? Say no. Now, say no, and if you're worried about that kind of stuff, just put that amount of money into a savings account. And I guarantee you that at the end of a year, if you looked at how often you had to dip into that savings account, you're going to end up with a whole lot more money than if you had said yes to those extended warranties.
Yeah. Well, it came up when I was traveling. I had to buy, I forgot my sewer accessories, for the stinky slinky on the trailer when you got to dump the poo, right? The doo-doo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's us in the know, us RVers. That's what we call it, the stinky slinky. So I had the stinky slinky in a tube underneath the trailer, but what I did not have is the connections for it because I was an idiot when we packed up and left. For some reason, I did not have.
You didn't have the effluent elbow for the stinky slinky?
Yeah, I did not have. So the connection that goes into the ground. So I had two options: go buy one.
I like option two.
Or fire hose that thing and just try to aim for the hole in the ground manually, right? I decided I'm not a fire hose type of guy when it comes. The stakes were too high on that one, right? I'm not Cousin Eddie. So I went to Walmart and I had to get this, basically a plastic elbow that connects to the stinky slinky and then goes into the ground. I was pissed off because they only had a fancy one with an airlock that I didn't need, and it was $30. Shame on me for leaving the stuff at home. So I get the thing. I go to check out. That's all. That's the only thing I bought. It's $30. I go to
Plastic
checkout,
elbow.
and Walmart's like, plastic elbow for my shitter. Do you want the $2.99 extended protection for 2 years? And I just like, are you serious? Like I'm used to getting that crap for electronics and stuff like that. I always say no, of course, but I kind of understand it or whatever because it's electronic or it's expensive. It's $1,000 or whatever. But a $30 plastic elbow for my poop hose, and it wants to know if I want to pay another $3 to insure it for what? What is the event that's going to happen that's going to cause me to go, gee, I'm glad I saved the receipt for the shitter elbow because now I can take it back to Walmart and get what? I couldn't even wrap my head around, but what I could wrap my head around is the more they ask for shit like this, the more people are going to say yes. So they just ask, and inevitably people will just, protection. Protection sounds good. I want protection.
Yeah. Wait till you try to make a claim and remember where the receipt was or when you bought it or whatever.
Oh, you mean you don't think I'm going to save the receipt for my stinky slinky elbow?
No.
Like, of course not. I'm not going to save that receipt. And here's my favorite. Do you know that receipts fucking disappear? The ink disappears on them after about a year. That's my favorite. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but what the hell? Here's your warranty receipt. Don't lose that. 2 years later, you need, you need it. You go to your box and you got a blank fucking ticket. Like, what the fuck? Like, they're like, oh, you're supposed to scan it in. They're like, yeah, but how many people actually get their receipt, then go scan it in, save it in a folder? No, they throw receipts in a box. Like, that is a conspiracy, if I ever heard one, of receipts that you're supposed to keep for proof of purchase. Start like doing the Back to the Future thing where it's slowly disappearing after a few months.
Did you ever, before you knew any better, or I can't remember before I knew any better, if I ever had a claim on anything that I fell for that on?
You might as well stab a fork in your eye.
Your credit card gives you extended protection on a lot of them do.
Yeah, but good luck. If you have like a legit, like an Amex card or one of the bigger cards, a smaller card that's just trying to get fees from you, no. But any kind of warranty claim, I don't care what it is. Most of the time, they make it on purpose so you don't ever even want to try to claim the warranty. Because there's so many hoops that are going to want you to jump through before they'll even consider it.
The warranty thing,
it makes it to where, like,
for me, is like when you're buying some piece of food and they do hey, let me flip this around. I've got a couple questions for you.
Oh, you give me a tip for, boop, 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 boop.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they kind of like stare off to the ceiling like they're not looking. Like, I'm not going to look. Yeah, but you're going to see it as soon as you turn back around, bro. You think I don't think it shows you whether I tipped you or not? Yeah, it sucks. Then I'm going through in my head, am I taking this to go, or am I going to be sitting in and this guy's staring at me for a half an hour going, that cheap mother?
Yeah.
But anyway, don't get the extended warranty. I mean, you get in a TV or whatever, still don't get the extended warranty. Your TV is going to be outdated. Technology is improving so fast. A $1,000 TV 2 or 3 years later is going to be a $300 TV.
Yeah, and the thing about electronics is, if they're going to break, 90% of the time, they're going to break within the first month. They're going to fail quickly.
Yeah, so don't get the extended warranty, especially if you're buying a poop hose. You don't need a warranty. And that's why Steve knew, because I was so like off put by the suggestion that I called Steve. I'm like, you're not going to believe this shit. Literally. They tried to get me to give them $3
they were elbowing you
to warranty my plastic poop elbow. Like, what? I just cannot imagine a scenario where I'm like, yeah, this has run its course. I think I need the warranty. And I didn't take the time to look it up. But like you said, my guess is it would be a pro rata warranty anyway. They're not going to give me, it's not like I'm going to walk in with this cracked plastic thing and Walmart's going to go, cool, thanks for that. Here's a $30 credit. Go buy a new one.
Yeah, 4 years from now.
Yeah, they're going to say, oh, well, that's, diminished in value after your first use, obviously. And so now your credit is $3. Oh, good. That's what I paid for the warranty.
Thanks.
Awesome.
That's like winning a class action lawsuit.
Well, you talk about those on the website all the time, and we don't bring them up that much on the podcast because my thing has always been, is the juice ever worth the squeeze on submitting a claim in a class action lawsuit?
Well, some of them are automatic. I mean, I just got a check for $450 from a class.
For what?
Blue Cross Blue Shield was involved in an overcharging class action suit. And I had them that year as my insurance company and got money back. But it was one of those, you don't need to file a claim.
It was automatic. Yeah, they already had the name of it.
I don't file claims now.
Yeah, but the ones they need you to file claims, that's the attorneys out there doing all the marketing, try to get as many people on as they can so they can beef up and then the attorneys make half of it. So,
at least.
We got a $30 million payout for you, blah, blah, blah. Well, they take 15 and then they got 15 million people signed up to benefit from it. So everybody gets a frickin' dollar.
Yeah, and I get the attorney point of view. These suits would never happen if they didn't think that they were going to get paid. But there's inequity built into every step of that thing.
Yeah, but my point is, for the individual, and you get the email, it's like, oh, did you have Verizon from blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh, go fill this out, go do that. Yeah, you can, but if you're going to get, at best case scenario, $5, is it even worth it? Like everybody, and for some people, maybe it is, but everybody kind of has that point where, when you start getting like all these discounts and you have this stuff, you buy this, you get 2% back if you go to this website and buy, but you get to the point where the couple of dollars that you're going to get is not worth the hassle and the time.
It's like when you get those, if you buy this, we'll send you a gift card or a rebate card. Yeah, but you're not going to get it for 6 weeks. You got to make an application to get it. And then, when you get it, if you forget about it, it's going to time out and it's not going to be worth anything.
Oh, yeah. Verizon used to do that. It used to piss me off when you'd go, they don't do it anymore, at least not that I'm aware of, because I haven't had to do it in a long time. But when you go, you buy a new phone, like, oh, you're going to get this phone for free. And it's like, well, yeah, technically, but you're going to have to pay for it. But then you're going to have this long ass receipt and all these hoops you have to jump through. And then you're going to submit it for the claims.
Yeah, how are you going to keep track of that?
And as long as everything goes through, you'll get the credit back to your account in a few months.
Yeah.
But how many people walk out of that store, they went in with the intention of, I'm going to get this free phone. And then they never get the free phone because once they have the phone, they misplace the receipt or they put it off or they procrastinate. And Verizon knows that probably 80% of the people that intend to get a free phone never follow the actual steps and they get it. And so that's the only reason they do it like that. And that's what used to piss me off because like you're offering this, but you're going to make me jump through all these hoops knowing that most people won't do it. And the people that do it have to hassle to get the money back that you promised them in the beginning. It just, out of principle, it pisses me off. Again, cynical in my old age, Steve.
Well,
cynical.
On that note, let's wrap up this week's podcast.
Yeah, I was going to throw out one of your articles on the getoutofdebt.org website.
Don't do it.
I don't have time, but if you have a spouse, this article was actually pretty good that you had recently, that said, am I automatically on the hook for my spouse's debt because we're married? And it's a good article. It has to do with whether you live in community property states, non-community property states. But the reason I brought it up is because I get that question a lot from married couples and divorced couples about, this is my ex-wife's debt or this is my wife's debt. Are they going to come after me? And sometimes no. So anyway,
I was just working on a post today. It was a great question. It came from a chat. But if I'm an employee of the federal government, if I file bankruptcy, will I lose my job? So that post is up there too. Getoutofdebt.org.
Yeah. Yeah, not you will. Yeah, that's a good article.
Yeah. They're always enlightening. I love doing the research. All right, Damon, until next time, people can reach you at damonday, DAMONDAY.com, and I will see ya.
And people can't reach Steve, but you can reach AI Steve
absolutely.
at getoutofdebt.org. Peace.